And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and this is going to be a mini featurette. We know he's a Dark Side Empire character. He now has the Imperial Trooper tag, so that is new. The other thing that they did is for his regroup, which is his first special, they now allow for this regroup to grant health and critical hit immunity to himself and stand guard his unique. While Shore Trooper is active, Imperial Trooper allies will have plus 10 max health. So they didn't do anything with his target weapons. It's going to do the same. His regroup is now going to give everybody, including himself, that ability of health and critical hit immunity. And while he's active, all Imperial Troopers will have plus 10 max health. Now, when I tested him with all the other Imperial Troopers, one thing became apparently clear. He is a vital part of the puzzle. One, he's an auto taunt. Two, he can taunt again, so he can keep the taunt up even if it's dispelled. Three, he can apply critical hit immunity, giving you the much needed defense to stay alive long enough to do the damage you desire for the teams you're going against. And four, he becomes your healer. Literally, he is a tank and a healer in the game now for you. His heal before did not seem very effective. With these guys, it seems very effective, and he gets to heal even himself. Plus, he gives them everybody plus 10% max health, which gives them all more durability. So for Death Trooper, they added the Imperial category, obviously, on his unique Krennic's Guard. They did add, while Death Trooper is active, the Imperial Trooper allies will have 10% health steal. Now this one's critical because while he's alive, they get 10% health steal in addition to what they have. So if you think about that, he also brings durability by allowing them to gain health back with every shot. And with health steal, the more they hit for, the more they get back in health. I found Death Trooper to be absolutely critical in a team with troopers underneath General Veers. He became one of the heaviest hitters. I even had Death Trooper hit for over 47,000, and that's not including the multiple, and I mean multiple, death mark kills. Magma Trooper has the Imperial tag now added on his basic, the line of fire. His secondary shot potential no longer excludes the actual target. So instead of hitting one target and another, it's now potentially could hit the same target twice. The damage penalty's been reduced by 5% at all levels. And the upgrade 6 now grants an additional 10% more damage instead of 5% more damage. Upgrade 7 now grants plus 15% more damage instead of plus 5% more damage. This all equates to about 20% more damage than before, which makes him a significantly heavier hitter. For his thermal imploder, it now is giving more, they've given more damage to it, and the Omega now adds plus 30% turn meter reduction chance in addition to the previous 15% bonus damage. So the ability to remove turn meter and much more damage. Essentially, they worked in a bunch more damage, but they also gave him in his unique the hazard training. While he's active, all the other troopers have plus 30% tenacity. And it says the Omega also will add the plus 10% turn meter gain and previous bonuses. Now, with Magma Trooper, he is one of a couple that could be potentially pulled off the team if you wanted to make substitutions. While he's on the team, he does a good job. He hits hard. He can provide tenacity up for the whole team. And he can give turn meter reduction for the opponents. But pulling him out, he's hardly missed. And so because of that, he is one of the potentials that you could have either in or out, your choice. But there are other solutions and other options. Stormtrooper is the second one that is an option. Now, if you put him in, he does make your Imperial Trooper army much more durable with the constant taunting of Shore Trooper and taunting of Stormtrooper and then re-taunting of Shore Trooper and re-taunting of Stormtrooper. It makes it extremely difficult for any team that does not have a Baze and a B2 or someone like that that can constantly cleanse. They're going to get caught up in your taunts. So he's pretty amazing, but he is one of those optionals. If you were looking at pulling someone off the team to make a hybrid team, he would be one of them that you could do. His basic, they allowed his Omega, they increased it, that says now if this attack doesn't score a critical hit or if it's evaded, which is good against any of this evasion meta, the target will become exposed, which cannot be resisted. So if this is going against a Maul meta team, Stormtrooper is really almost required because he's got one of the few pieces of a kit that help expose the opponents when they evade. On his Stormtrooper Bravado, the Omega now adds plus 50% turn meter reduction chance in addition to the previous of taunt duration +1. So they've given more turn meter reduction chance. That's really good. And then unique, the Wall of Stormtroopers was reworked now to grant anywhere from 25 to 40% defense for each living Empire ally. That is a lot. Plus, while he's active, all other troopers have plus 30% defense. And his new Zeta ability gives him, it says, Stormtrooper gains 40% offense for each defeated Empire ally. Now, he is a tank. He does not hit for that much. Of all of the Imperial troopers, he hits the weakest. So this does shore that up a little bit by allowing him, each time you lose someone, for him to be able to hit harder and harder and harder to kind of pull up the loose damage that's being lost as you're losing your attackers. For Snowtrooper, of course, they added the Imperial Trooper tag on his basic Assault Shock troops. It now grants additional damage, and his Omega will grant additional damage as well with another 15% ability block chance, so that's really good. His first special, Overwhelming Assault, is his AoE, and this thing is amazing. Not only have I seen him hit for 20 to 30k on everyone, I have also seen it go every single turn over and over and over. It is absolutely amazing how this works. So the base description now reads, deals physical damage to all enemies and gains critical damage up for 2 turns. This is going to really make the second shot significantly more impactful. The upgrades now increase the damage, so now there's going to be significantly more damage that he's going to be doing. The Omega now adds for each critical hit he scores, and potentially that's up to 5, it will reduce his cooldown of this ability by 1. So because the cooldown is 4, if he can get even 3 out of the 5 critical hits, and you know he's giving himself critical damage up, all you need to do is make sure that you give him critical chance in your mods. He's going to crit 3 out of 5, and he gets to use this right over again, which means he's doing 100,000 or more damage to the opposing team through this AoE every single turn. Imagine putting a bunch of speed on this guy and letting him loose. I had so much fun playing Overwhelming Assault, probably one of my favorite damage dealing moves in the entire game other than Death Troopers Terminate. That was probably my favorite move in the game. But outside of Terminate, Overwhelming Assault is truly an overwhelming assault. Now, its final description will read, deal physical damage to all enemies and gain critical damage up for 2 turns. For each critical hit scored, reduce the cooldown of the ability. And then, of course, his unique assault training states while he's active, so while he's on the board, Imperial Trooper allies are going to get plus 20% critical damage. So now the whole team is going to hit significantly harder. And this is where I saw Death Trooper shine, and Snow Trooper, in my opinion, is an absolute must have. If you're going to build this team and you're going to use these characters, it is my suggestion that you use General Veers as the lead. You must Zeta his abilities. You must then have Shore Trooper, Death Trooper, and Snow Trooper on the team minimum, and then either have Stormtrooper, Magma Trooper, or anyone else from any other team. The one Achilles heel of the Imperial Troopers, because they did very well against many different teams, is they still are a little bit weak to the Maul meta. And the only way to really fix that would be to not have Magma Trooper or Stormtrooper on the team and instead put somebody that can cleanse. They are missing a cleanser. So you need General Kenobi, Barisafi, someone that you can put in here, Rex, somebody that you can put in that can clean them up and make sure that they're not debuffed, because without the debuffs, once you get this train going, it is really, really hard to stand in its way. But a full Imperial Trooper team does not do well against the Darth Maul meta. So pretty amazing Imperial Troopers. My thoughts are they're definitely worth it, just like First Order or just like Rogue One, or just like the Resistance reworks. I feel this is one of the best reworks they've ever done. Yes, they have a little bit of an issue with the Darth Maul meta, and that is what's currently happening. So you'll definitely want to make sure you use the best 4 and then pull either Magma or Storm off, or both, and put on a cleanser. Make sure that you're able to keep them alive a little bit longer, and with that, they should do significantly better than they do without a cleanser. Other than that, overall, they're heavy hitting. They're going to get you through Cantina battles all the way to the end. I had no problem zipping through all of Cantina. They can help you with the dark side battles. They will zip you through from start to finish in the Galactic War, and in Arena they are viable. You will have to know their weakness so you know how to shore that up. But as always, I hope this has helped you guide yourself into whether the new reworks are worth it or not. Keeping in mind, I think the reworks are excellent. Like I said, the only thing I think that they need is a cleanser, so keep that in mind. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.